Good morning everyone. Welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator, and today we are going to decode the Hindu newspaper for 11th May 2020, and the manner of decoding this newspaper will be WH manner. That means what, where, when and how. That is the manner in which we are going to decode the entire newspaper. And also we are going to give you 4 practice prelims based questions and 2 mains based questions. आज की क्लास में हम आपको 4 प्रीलिम्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस देंगे और 2 मेंस के लिए होमवर्क क्वेश्चंस देंगे एंड हमारा मैनर होगा आज का न्यूज़पेपर डिकोड करने का व्हाट, वेयर, व्हेन एंड हाउ मैनर. कब, कैसे, कहां, क्यों, क्या हुआ, हम उस मैनर में आज का न्यूज़पेपर डिकोड करेंगे. द PDF of the classes are uploaded after 4 to 5 hours on our Telegram channel. The name of our Telegram channel is Simplifying UPSC with Ease. Link is given below in the description box. Also, here's a small announcement for all of you. Today from 11 a.m. in the morning, we are going to take a very special class of 1 hour UPSC CSE Working Professional Strategy, and it is a free special class on Unacademy Plus. The link is given below in the description box. Description box में आपको link भी दिया हुआ है. तो आज हम Unacademy Plus पे ये फ्री स्पेशल क्लास लाइव क्लास लेने वाले हैं कि कैसे वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स को अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी फ्रेम करनी चाहिए, किस तरीके से उन्हें टाइम टेबल सेट करना चाहिए, हाउ दे कैन टेक आउट टाइम फ्रॉम देयर बिजी शेड्यूल फॉर दिस UPSC CSE preparation. Link is given below in the description box. You can register in this free special live class to be conducted today at 11 a.m. Also, you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus. There are many courses on Unacademy Plus. 2-year batch is there. Course for Hindi medium student also there is separate batch. For English medium also there are separate batches. For 2021, new batches have been launched both for English medium and Hindi medium students. इंग्लिश मीडियम और हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए नए बैचेस लॉन्च किए गए हैं 2021 के लिए, एंड ऑल्सो सेपरेट बैचेस आर गोइंग ऑन फॉर इकोनॉमिक कोर्स फॉर 2020, पॉलिटी कोर्स एंड मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री कोर्स. You can subscribe to Unacademy Plus. Also, I am taking art and culture crash course and last 1 year's revisionary current affairs MCQ course. You can use my referral code Sharma20 to get up to 10% discount on Unacademy Plus subscription. Unacademy Plus सब्सक्रिप्शन पर 10% का डिस्काउंट इजीली आपको मिल सकता है अगर आप Sharma20 कोड यूज करते हैं. Also, there are test series on Unacademy Plus. Subscribe now. Let's solve prelims based mock MCQs. Question number 1. With reference to religious principles adopted by Tablighi Jamaat, Ikhlas-e-Niyat means treatment of fellow Muslims with honor, prayer 5 times daily, sincerity of intention, an article of faith. Now tell me which option is correct. फटाफट से बताओ. You have 5 seconds time to tell me the correct answer. Correct answer to this question is C. Sincerity of intention. Clear? So Tablighi Jamaat is based on 6 principles. There are 6 principles on which this community is based on. First is known as Kalima. पहले को हम बोलते हैं Kalima, right? Over here you can see. It means an article of faith. That is, there is no God but Allah and Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. Second is Salat. That is, prayer 5 times daily. Then Ilm and Dhikr, which means knowledge and remembrance of Allah. Then Ikram-e-Muslim, which means treatment of fellow Muslims with honor. Ikhlas-e-Niyat, sincerity of intention. And Dawat-o-Tabligh, that is proselytization. Clear? Question number 2. Which one of the following statements is or are best describes the ways and means advances? So this was in news last month in April 2020 when RBI announced certain important proposals in the economy. The Reserve Bank of India's long-term loan facilities to central government, Reserve Bank of India's temporary loan facilities to central and state government, RBI's temporary loan facilities to commercial banks and NBFCs, or none of the above. Which option is correct? कौन सा option correct है जरा बताएं. Correct answer to this question is B. So what is ways and means? It is temporary loan facilities which are given to the central and the state governments. So that is why this loan facility is known as ways and means advances. It was introduced in year 1997 and the purpose was to meet mismatches in the receipt and payment of the government. Now what is the WMA limit? The limit is, RBI set the limit to rupees 35,000 crore. ठीक है, clear? And this is for the second half of 2019-20 financial year. Now there are two types of WMAs, that is normal and special. Special WMA is also known as special drawing facility. It is provided against collateral of the government securities which is held by the state. The number of loans under normal WMA is based on 3-year average of actual revenue and capital expenditure of the state. Question number 3. Consider the following statements about Sunrise mission. The Sun Radio Interferometer Space Experiment will look into how Sun generates and releases giant weather storms known as solar particle storms into space. Findings of this mission would safeguard astronauts from solar storms while they travel to Mars or Moon. Sunrise contains 6 CubeSats which will work together as a large radio telescope. Which statement is correct? कौन सी statement correct है? Correct answer to this question is D. That is statement 1, 2 and 3, all of them are correct. This is a NASA's mission. This Sunrise mission जो है, it has been announced by NASA. Remember this, okay? This mission will help in greater understanding of the solar system. Question number 4. For treating severe and critical cases of COVID-19, Chinese government has recommended an injection of Tanrequing which contains bear bile. With reference to this, which of the following statements is not correct about bile? कौन सा statement correct नहीं है bile के बारे में? This about bile liquid, we studied this in class 10th NCERT. So your NCERT knowledge will be tested here. Many waste products including bilirubin are eliminated from body by secretion into bile and elimination in feces. Bile contains gastric acid which are critical for digestion and absorption of fats and fat soluble vitamins in small intestine. As bile flows through bile duct, it is modified by addition of watery bicarbonate rich secretion from ductal epithelial cells. Secretion into bile is a major route for eliminating cholesterol. So which statement is not correct? Correct answer is B. That is B statement is not correct. Statement B is not correct. Bile does not contain gastric acid. It contains bile acid. इसमें bile acid होता है. Bile contains bile acids. It's a complex fluid containing water, electrolytes and battery of organic molecules. It helps in digestion process. Also it eliminates cholesterol. ठीक है? Now the first important news for today. Indian-Chinese troops face off in Ladakh, Sikkim. So 2 incidents of face off occurred between Indian and Chinese troops last week, which resulted in injuries to several soldiers on both sides. First incidents occurred in eastern Ladakh on May 5 and second at Natula in Sikkim on May 9. So ये face off occur हुआ था, एक scuffle हुआ था. Right, और 2 cases सामने आए थे. First, the scuffle took place in eastern Ladakh and second one took place in Nakula, that is in Sikkim. Right. Now here we have to study about the geographical location. यहाँ आपको geographical location पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Right. Now here sources have said that face off in Ladakh occurred on the intervening night on May 5 and 6 near Pangong Tso Lake. Right. Pangong Tso Lake, which is a major part of, the major part of which China is holding. Here the face-off took place. So for your prelims, you have to remember where is Pangong Tso Lake. ये Pangong Tso Lake कहाँ पर located है? In Ladakhi language, Pangong means extensive concavity, and Tso means lake in Tibetan language. So Pangong Tso is a long, narrow, deep endorheic lake. ये एक endorheic lake है. Endorheic means landlocked. It is situated at a height of more than 14,000 feet. This information is important for your prelims. Prelims में geographical location based information are coming. The brackish water lake, which is the Pangong Tso lake, ये एक brackish water lake है. It freezes over in winter and becomes ideal for ice skating and polo. The lake is said to be in the process of being identified as a wetland with international significance under the Ramsar Convention. So it is in process of becoming a wetland. ठीक है, अभी ये process में है, बनी नहीं है. Clear? Now next is what is endorheic basin. This is important for GS paper 1 geography. ये आपके geography के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा important है. An endorheic basin is a landlocked basin. It is closed drainage that retains water and does not allow for overflow to other external bodies. It is landlocked. यहाँ पर पानी store हो जाता है तो फिर वो other water bodies जैसे कि rivers, oceans में नहीं overflow करता. Endorheic basin may form either permanent or seasonal lakes or swamps that equilibrate only through evaporation. So once the water is locked here in the endorheic basin, it evaporates only finally. It never overflows. The basin is also commonly referred to as internal drainage system or a closed basin. And under normal circumstance, water that accumulates in the drainage basin flows out through rivers or streams or by underground diffusion. Clear? So over here you can see the strategic location LAC, the line of actual control cuts through the lake. LAC cuts through the lake, that is why it is a disputed region. But India and China do not agree on its exact location. Over here you can see this is the Pangong Tso lake. Clear? 45 kilometer long western portion of the lake is in Indian control, while the rest is under the China's control. That is why there are clashes which are seen near this particular lake between India and China. Clear? Now what is the dispute in the area? The difference in perception over the LAC. That is the major dispute. When the army unit from the area was moved to Kargil for Operation Vijay in 1999, China took the opportunity to build 5 kilometers of roads inside the Indian territory along the lake's bank. That is why in August 2017 a scuffle also took place in this particular area. Now, because in this particular news, we also have to study the different mountain passes in India. What is mountain pass? This is relevant for prelims. Mountain pass is a connectivity route through the mountain run. It is a gateway to connect different parts of the country, also with neighboring countries for different purpose. So some important mountain passes in India are Zojila, Baralacha Pass, Mana Pass, Shipkila and Jelipla. Nathula Pass is located in the state of Sikkim. It is a famous pass between India and China border which was reopened in 2006. Shipkila Pass is located through Satluj Gorge. It connects Himachal Pradesh with Tibet. It is India's third border post for trade with China. Jelipla Pass passes through the Chumbi Valley, connects Sikkim with Lhasa, which is the capital of Tibet. Karatak Pass is located in Karakoram Mountains and it is the subsidiary of the ancient Silk Route as well. Kardungla, it is the highest motorable pass in the country. It is a mountain pass in Leh, Ladakh. It connects Leh and Siachen glaciers. During winter, this pass remains closed. Then comes Thangala or Tanglang La. It is located in Ladakh, which is the second highest motorable mountain pass in India. Agil Pass is situated to the north of Mount Godwin Austen in Karakoram. It connects Ladakh with Xinjiang province of China. Changla Pass is the high mountain pass in Greater Himalayas which connects Ladakh and Tibet. Lanakla Pass is located in Aksai Chin in Ladakh region. It connects Ladakh and Lhasa. Imisla Pass, it connects Ladakh and Tibet. Barala or Baralacha La Pass, it is situated on National Highway in state of J&K, connects Manali and Leh. Now these are the other important mountain passes in Uttarakhand, which will be provided in the PDF of the class. You can go through them. Geographical location is very, very important. Okay. Now next important editorial is the epidemic in ensuring safety in courts. So in a letter addressed to Chief Justice of India, the Bar Council of India has opposed the continuation of virtual hearings once lockdown is lifted. Now why the Bar Council of India has opposed the continuation of virtual hearings after lockdown is lifted? The ground of this particular letter is that 90% of the advocates and judges are unaware of technology and its nuances. Basically, Bar Council of India said that no, not everyone is equipped with the technological advancement or knowledge राइट। अगर आप वर्चुअल हियरिंग्स कर रहे हो, हर किसी को नॉलेज नहीं होती कि कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज किया जाए, राइट। 90% एडवोकेट्स और जजेस ऐसे हैं जिनको ये टेक्नोलॉजी का पता नहीं है कि कैसे वर्चुअल हियरिंग्स में हम टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम इसको एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, राइट। इसके लिए हमें वर्चुअल हियरिंग से हटकर वापस से फिजिकल हियरिंग करनी पड़ेगी, लॉकडाउन जैसे ही हटता है। The COVID-19 crisis is far from over. Once the lockdown is lifted, unless the number of advocates or litigants is restricted in open court proceedings, the possibility of virus spreading is high. Here also National Informatics Center has been quoted. यहाँ पर इसी के चलते National Informatics Center के बारे में भी बात की गई है. Let us understand from prelims perspective what is NIC. NIC provides, this is the National Informatics Center. It provides network backbone and e-governance. Underline this. This particular center provides network backbone and e-governance support to central government, state government and union territory administrations. It is closely associated with government in different aspects of governance besides establishing a nationwide state-of-art information and communication technology infrastructure. The last mile delivery of government services to citizens, it makes that particular delivery a reality. It is working under the aegis of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It was established in 1976 and it is located in New Delhi. Clear everyone? Next editorial, responding to COVID-19 at grassroots. So here in this particular editorial, Kerala and Karnataka have shown how democratic decentralization has worked in their favor. What is democratic decentralization? So democratic decentralization, it enhances the democratic voice. Clear? It is the process of devolving functions and resource of the state from center to elected representative at the lower levels. Why at the lower levels? To facilitate greater direct participation of citizens in governance. Clear? So devolution, which is envisioned by constitution, is not mere delegation. Clear? इतनी बात समझ आ गई? So basically democratic decentralization is the process of devolving the function and resource of state from center to elected representatives. Okay, it implies that precisely defined governance functions are formally assigned by law to the local governments and they are supported by adequate transfer of basket of financial grants and tax handles, and they are given staff also so that they have the necessary wherewithal to carry out their responsibilities. ठीक है? So here democratic decentralization means when the center takes in the support of local government. Local government means panchayats. Okay, panchayats is a state subject, local government is a state subject. Remember this. ठीक है? Clear everyone? इतना clear हो गया? Our constitution also mandates that panchayats and municipalities shall be elected every 5 years and enjoins the states to devolve functions and responsibilities to them through the law. So Mahatma Gandhi envisioned that a free India would rest on a foundation of Gram Panchayat, village republics that governed locally and epitomized Swaraj in practice. B.R. Ambedkar ji was however skeptical, but he also unequivocally, right, he was not against decentralization, but he said that there will be inequality because at village level, right, inequality exists because it's a caste based society. Clear? Now moving ahead, 73rd constitutional amendment mandates that constitution of panchayats at district level should be done. Intermediate and village levels as devolved institutions of self-government should be done, and it provides for endowment of powers and responsibilities to plan and implement programs for social justice and economic development. You have to remember this for prelims. ये prelims के लिए याद रखना. 73rd constitutional amendment, what does it mandate? This fulfilled the vision also. It fulfilled the vision of Mahatma Gandhi and also addressed Dr. Ambedkar's concerns by providing for reservation in both elected seats and leadership position of Sarpanch, Mukhyas and Adhyaksh. So basically, Dr. Ambedkar was finally also satisfied and Mahatma Gandhi's vision was also fulfilled. The progress of Panchayati Raj has been patchy in India since its constitutionalization 27 years ago. ऐसा नहीं है कि पंचायती राज को establish करने के बाद सब कुछ smoothly चल रहा था, नहीं. Some states have walked the talk by devolving untied grants to panchayats so that they can plan flexibly and implement locally relevant initiatives. Panchayats are not given funds and are bypassed by states-controlled line departments that continue to implement programs falling within its rightful domain of former. The past pandemics, apart from decimating populations, have also caused paradigm shifts in the perception of governance. Right now, it is doing the same. The plague waves of 15th century, which killed nearly 3/4 of England and 9/10 of people in some quarters of Europe, also undermined the political position of Pope, whose assurances that God would come to help of the virtuous were not fulfilled. So here the question is, will the novel coronavirus crisis trigger a reaction of greater faith in local government, or will it result in more centralization? But right now Kerala and Karnataka are the two states who have shown a very different picture. Kerala had a head start. No state has such a panchayat friendly fiscal system. Nearly a third of Kerala's planned funds have been given to panchayats as flexible development and maintenance funds. This policy has been used by Kerala in order to fight with this virus. So here we have to study for prelims what is Kudumbashree system. This system encourages women to form self-help groups. So you have to remember Kudumbashree system is in Kerala. For prelims it is important. Under this system, women are allowed to form self-help groups and their federations, acts as an organized civil society counterpoint to the panchayat, collaborating with and yet holding to account the latter for their performance. So Kudumbashree system, women form self-help groups and federations, they collaborate with panchayats, the credit is given to panchayats, but women are also helping, right? This is the major point to appreciate here. Kudumbashree has been effective incubator for women leaders who have stepped into the political sphere. Nearly 65% of all women elected to the panchayats are Kudumbashree members. Then there is Ashray program also. Panchayats feed the destitute through their Ashray program and run free daycare centers for mentally and physically challenged through bud schools. So this is very important. Kerala mein do systems hai, Kudumbashree system and Ashray program, which you should remember for prelims. Then in Karnataka also, Karnataka typifies the stop-start approach of most states to strengthening local governments. Its politicians play a double game. For political reason, they have passed laws that create powerful framework for democratic decentralization. But in practice, the panchayats are tied down through restricted finance and administrative controls. That means on ground level, the you can say important policies, important framework has been passed showing democratic decentralization, but on the ground, this is at the official level, formal level, but on the ground level, panchayats are being restricted. Right? Clear? Today, the state is witnessing a revival of Panchayati Raj in practice. Earlier, it used to happen that officially or formally, Karnataka used to say that we are democratically decentralizing our state, and panchayats on the other hand were tied down. But right now, because of this COVID-19 crisis, Karnataka has changed its stand. Karnataka right now on ground level also is reviving Panchayati Raj. It would have been impossible to impose the lockdown in the state effectively without cooperation of panchayats. Lockdown has also tied the hands of government. Only essential services of government like police and health department are functioning. Rest of the work has been done by panchayats. Clear? So governance abhors vacuums. This particular, you can say, philosophy has been in place in Karnataka. So what is governance abhors vacuums? First of all, this has been taken from Aristotle, right? So the main principle or theory of Aristotle was nature abhors a vacuum. That means every space in nature needs to be filled with something. Here also every space in the economy, in the state governance needs to be filled with governance. State में हर एक खाली जगह को, gap को governance से भरना पड़ेगा. And even if it means bringing in the panchayats. अब मान लो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बस पब्लिक अपने आप के जो हेल्थ ऑफिशियल्स हैं और पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट है वही काम कर रही है, तो इस गैप को भी हम भर सकते हैं. बाकी जो गवर्नेंस का गैप है उसको हम पंचायत की हेल्प से भर सकते हैं. वी कैन fill up the gap in the governance of the state by panchayat. So this has been used in Karnataka. This statement is very important for your essay and GS paper 2. Clear? So these are the two mains based questions which you can practice today. First is the lockdown has clearly established that migrant workers are the backbone of India's economy. Discuss. Second is in the Indian governance system. This question came in 2016. In the Indian governance system, role of non-state actors have been only marginal. Critically examine this statement. These two questions you have to practice. Now next important news, Nepal to beef up border security. The Nepal will increase the number of security outposts and deploy more armed personals in border with India. This has been said by Foreign Minister Pradeep Gwali. The senior minister said Kathmandu expects India to avoid any unilateral measures in Kalapani region. So here for prelims, what is important? Kalapani region. What is Kalapani region? This is a disputed region. Last year also Nepal government strongly objected to the inclusion of Kalapani under Indian territory as per the newly released political map of India. Last year 2019 में जो political map of India, newly released political map of India था, उसमें इंडिया ने कालापानी region को Indian territory में दिखाया था, to which Nepal government strongly objected. So Kalapani region was included in our Indian map also into the Pithoragarh district of Uttarakhand. Nepal government says that Kalapani is an integral part of Nepal, right? And New Delhi should not include this Kalapani region into the political map of India. It is a border related region, disputed region between India and Nepal. Over here you can see, right? This is the region. Kalapani is located at an altitude of 3600 meter on the Kailash Mansarovar route. It borders Uttarakhand in India and Sudur Paschim Pradesh in Nepal. Since the Indo-China War of 1962, Kalapani is controlled by India's Indo-Tibetan Border Force. Nepal claims that the river located towards the west of territory is the main Kali river and thus it falls in the territory of Nepal. But India says it is towards the east of Kalapani territory, so it is included in the Indian Union. Now what is the dispute history? Under the Treaty of Sugauli, which was signed between Nepal and British East India Company in 1816, Kali River was located as Nepal's western boundary with India. The discrepancy has led to boundary dispute between India and Nepal since then. Next important news is NIV develops test to detect antibodies. The National Institute of Virology, which is in Pune, has developed an immunological assay, that is enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, ELISA, to detect antibodies that body develops in response to fighting the infection created by SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus. The test will detect antibodies in blood samples. ELISA is routinely used for detecting HIV infection. This is the first time India has developed indigenous ELISA test for coronavirus. ELISA tests for coronavirus are already available in other countries, but this is the first time that India has developed this type of test for our own selves. ELISA test will be used to screen 30,000 samples from 75 hotspot districts to understand the extent of spread of the virus in the community. ELISA test developed by NIV gained significance as the rapid antibody tests imported from China were found to be unreliable. Hence, the states were instructed not to use them for detecting previous novel corona infection. This ELISA test, it is based on detection of antibodies. So it can only help in knowing if the person has been previously infected by coronavirus or not, because it detects antibodies. Even people who have remained symptom free, that is asymptomatic during the entire course for the infection, will test positive, right? Clear? So here for prelims you have to study about ELISA and you have to study about RT-PCR, that is reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction test, which detects the RNA for coronavirus. It enables detection of current infection. It will not be useful if testing is carried out days after the infection clears, as the virus will no longer be present. Next important news is BPRD scraps online manual on identifying fake news. A day after it published a step-by-step guide for law enforcement agencies to identify fake news and community-sensitive posts because of COVID-19 pandemic, Bureau of Police Research and Development removed the manual from its website. So here for prelims we have to study what is BPRD. BPRD is Bureau of Police Research and Development. Government of India established this bureau under the Ministry of Home Affairs in 1970s. It replaced Police Research and Advisory Council of 1966. The primary objective of establishing this bureau was modernization of police force. The government further decided to create National Police Mission under the administrative control of BPRD to transform the police forces in the country as well. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you really enjoyed it, do not forget to share, like and subscribe. And also we are keeping the like target of this video to 100 likes. Okay? हम 100 likes का like target इस video का रख रहे हैं. Thank you and have a beautiful day ahead.